Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look here at Bitcoin. Happy Saturday to you and your family, and kind of see what's going on, of course, for the weekend forecast. Now, when we look at the weekend forecast, a lot of times it's best just to kind of look in general about what happened throughout the week, kind of get perspective, and maybe even look at the weekly closure, kind of see where that's at, even though we're not there yet. We are getting closer. So anyways, we can look at a few things that I think are important. And if you are new to the channel, just know I'm not a financial advisor. I love teaching people to trade, so I hope you can learn something today. If you do learn something, fantastic, let me know. If you'd like to become a better trader, CryptoCache.tech is a site, link in the description below. We have a lot of members joining to attend my trading academy where I actually teach you everything I know about trading. So it's a really awesome experience, over 16 years of trial and error, and I got it down to a science now. So check that out in your own time. I also offer signals and a trading community as well, where we all learn and grow together. Awesome experience. Thank you so much to my current community members. You are amazing. Taking a look here at Bitcoin, here's kind of what's going on. First and foremost, we know that the price has been going steadily sideways and up for the last few days. So ever since we hit our bottom here at about 17,600, we can see the price action continuing to make higher lows. So this is a good sign on the daily. Higher lows on the daily is important. Okay. Now, what does that mean for us now? Well, at this point specifically, we can see that we are currently in engulfing bearish candle. So that's not really ideal, but on the same accord, the day hasn't finished yet, right? Plus, it's a weekend. A lot of times the weekends, you almost don't even want to bother with that because they're oftentimes very strange. In other words, this last weekend, normally we see tremendously low volume on the weekends, which we're seeing today. Last weekend, for some reason, we had a significant amount of volume, just so much money coming in and out. It was pretty crazy. But we're not going to experience that now, okay? At least we shouldn't, based on the simple fact that things have kind of calmed down. We hit our tentative bottom. Not saying we're going to continue upwards from here, but we are kind of breaking up, in a sense, with this short-term, type of divergence, so to speak, as well as the fact that we have potential in the next few weeks, I would say more so probably a month, to test this level here for the descending pattern that we can see on the daily, which is concurrent with the 50-day SIP moving average. Okay, so that's generally what we're looking at there for Bitcoin. So all good stuff in that sense. Ultimately, it doesn't feel like Bitcoin's going to dump, but on the same accord, we are hitting some resistance levels we need to try to break through. But we are making an ascending type of pattern here now after we had broken this to the downside. So we're no longer descending, so to speak. We're now moving upwards, and we can expect the price action to probably continue to progress higher from here, just based on that pattern. Again, that doesn't necessarily have to be a guarantee, but for the most part, we can see this ascending type of pattern. No matter how you draw it out, the price action is inevitably going to increase, right? So we could look at it a few different ways. So again, that's just kind of where we're at. We're making higher lows. I think that's really important. Another thing that's important is we're maintaining up over 30 on the RSI, which is concurrent in a lot of ways with right around 21,000. So 21,000 has proven to be a strong support level in the recent past. It was also a resistance level prior to that. So I think we might be okay to stay over 21,000 here soon. Taking a look at the MACD, we are converging here as well, basically just telling us that the price should increase from here. Again, keyword is should. There's no guarantees there either. Really, there is no guarantees in trading, but in cryptocurrency, it's even less so. But generally speaking, when you see a MACD convergence on the daily, that usually tells you the overall momentum is shifting bullishly, and we can kind of see that here. It's been a pretty nice green week. So it begs the question, is Monday going to be a take profit day for a lot of whales with the price action being higher? There's a strong chance of that. And I do feel personally that we might still see 14,000 or lower as a potential next low. So just between now and then, highly recommend you dollar cost average. It really, I literally do $20 a day and essentially just keep adding to my position. It's really straightforward, really simple. You shouldn't overthink it and do too much, just a little bit at a time, and you'll be great in the long run, okay? Because someday, just say Bitcoin is 200,000 and you dollar cost average a decent amount into 20,000, you receive essentially a 10x. And that's what investment is supposed to be, right? This is investing, by the way. And in that sense, you want to invest in yourself in a bear market, or invest in the right things, that the more stronger coins such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then, of course, there are some altcoins, of course, that are still good, but for the most part, you want to, when it's a bearish type of environment, that's where the 4-year cycle comes in. You want to try to make sure to be accumulating Bitcoin during this time frame, okay? Because it'll be worth a lot more later, and that's just the way that it is going to be, okay? That being said, taking a look at the 4 hour, let's go ahead and kind of summarize here. We can see we're bouncing off of 50 on the RSI. Even though we've been up and down between these two, it's averaged itself finally to effectively bounce off of that. And that, once again, is concurrent with 21,000. So that's a very, very good sign there in that sense, kind of implying that we shouldn't see a price point lower than 20,000 today. Or sorry, 21,000 rather, but there's still potential, of course, because again, we've got this MACD divergence forming on the 4 hour that could imply that the price action will start to make lower lows and lower highs on the hourly. Okay, so we'll take a look at that soon here and kind of see what's going on. But on the 1 hour, essentially, here's where we're at. We are making higher lows still, so this is a great sign. Until we establish lower lows, where you can expect the price to continue to increase. It is still making higher highs as well, which is interesting. So ultimately, if we get a good bounce here, we could actually see 22,000 as a potential next target. Okay, but keep in mind, right here at about 21,700 is a very close approximate to the highest point in which the price could go recently, and that very well could be a point of rejection, or the price action comes up there and essentially, retests and continues higher. Those are more likely scenarios than the price dropping from here, just based on the simple fact that this is a very healthy type of pattern. You can see this healthier up over type of pattern. Yes, it's correcting itself now, but that makes sense considering there's about 24 to 40 hours worth of profit there to be taken. So in sense, I think that we're looking pretty good here. More positive to the upside, I would say. I'm leaning more towards the upside than the downside. If we can take a look at the cloud, it's tentatively holding. So hypothetically, the price continues higher from here. We'll still be establishing those higher lows and looking good. The price travels into the cloud, it wouldn't be the end of the world as long as we don't break this lower lead here. So again, if we don't break below this ascending trend line, right, then we should be in pretty good shape. And you can see how the cloud works concurrent with these trend lines a lot of times. Okay, it's the reason why it's helpful. It kind of tells you what the overall trend was. And in this sense, it's telling us that while the price is still, or at least recently retraced, we should expect the price action to continue sideways or up from here based on the supporting factors that we have here. And then take a look at TD sequential, we can see we're down to a 6. So hypothetically, we've got about 3 more hours worth of continuation of the downside before the price comes back up. Again, that's hypothetical because there's no guarantees in that one either. We can actually see here, though, that in the recent past, we've got 4s, 5, 6, there's a 7 and an 8. But for the most part, we see a lot of consistent, 4s and 5s getting reset. In other words, we're not seeing these strong pushes where we see a full 12 to 24 hours of momentum to the upside or downside. They're only like half terms, so to speak. So we're seeing 4s and 5s, basically just implying we're only seeing about 5, maybe 6 hours worth of continuation to whichever direction. Okay. So the reason why that's relevant is because it helps us understand here that the likelihood of the price coming much lower from here is pretty low in that sense. Another thing to also recognize as well, and it'd probably be easier if I take this off, is to see, you can see this rejection here, and here, and then the price squeezed up. But generally speaking, right here at about 21,000 or 20,900, you can see the price essentially hitting a resistance level quite frequently in the past, and now it's retested it a few times and it's working tentatively as a support level. Okay, so those are mostly good things. So in all reality here, even though the macro is bearish, we can still say that the micro is looking pretty decent and that we should expect a little bit more continuation of the upside this weekend. So I would say that we're looking pretty good all in all in the overall sense of things. Just be mindful that Monday, common, when you see a green weekend, if you were to, it's common on the week, the Monday, the week following, essentially, when the open trading days occur, there could be some profits being taken. And it actually does start as early as Sunday evening, right around 5 p.m. Pacific, which is roughly about the same time that the Eastern market opens in their morning time. So the Eastern markets, the large retail investors, et cetera, they can shift the market. So if you've ever noticed, Sundays are kind of treacherous in some cases, so it doesn't always have to be a Monday. Either way, that's kind of where we're at here so far. All in all, looking pretty decent. I can't complain with the way things are right now for Bitcoin. We took some nice profits here recently as well from Rune, which actually did quite nice. I'll be probably covering that later today. But for the most part here at this point, I think that we're looking good. We've got mostly positive inclining signs. And for the most part, it just feels like we're going to probably continue sideways or up between 21 and 22,000 for the next 24 to 48 hours. And then, of course, when the Eastern market opens or the traditional market opens, we will see a lot more volatility at that point. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining me here, of course. And if you are not currently a community member, CryptoCache.tech is the site. Link in the description below. Hope you have a great rest of your day and a wonderful weekend. Thanks again for your time.